Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday to you on this October 7th, 2025. I have all of your stories for your rush hour ride to work. We're NFL heavy this morning as we'll continue to discuss Mark Sanchez, and we're also pretty heavy on the Taylor Swift news. Several clips to share with you from her trip to Jimmy Fallon's The Tonight Show. Her fiance lost last night. Boy, this is a really good news for us Patriots fans, right? Sunday Night Football, we upset the Bills. Now you've got Kansas City Chiefs. They're supposed to be the modern day empire, and they're now fallen to 2-3. I don't mean to be a hater. I wish Travis Kelce well. Just don't let them near any more Lombardi trophies. All right, so we'll get into that. A little bit more on the government shutdown in Epstein as Trump is floating the idea of possibly pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell. And then Bigfoot. Actually, let's talk about Bigfoot right now. I told you guys I enjoy listening to a good Bigfoot story. People that might have seen the, the bipedal cryptid. What's the term for that, Anyhow, it's a large ape, right? The great American ape. I don't know. Does he exist? Does he not? He, she, I don't know their gender. Well, we had someone call in from our community, a very, very kind, lovely husband and wife team. He saw a Bigfoot back in the 80s, possibly. I don't have that story for you yet, but just so you guys know, I'm on top of it, and shout out to Susan who sent us a nice Bigfoot shirt. So we're slowly becoming a Bigfoot channel. I mean, maybe on Fridays. Fridays we'll do Bigfoot talk about that. All right, well, not exactly a Bigfoot story, although he was walking like a Bigfoot. Ex-Jets quarterback Mark Sanchez clutching his chest after a stabbing. Now, normally when someone gets stabbed, you certainly feel bad for them, but this case is bizarre. Right after he goes to the hospital, a stab victim, he ends up getting arrested, and now there's a fat lawsuit. So we're going to get into this story right here. Mark Sanchez family breaks silence after the stabbing, breaking its silence for the first time since Saturday morning's stabbing incident, saying the former star quarterback continues to receive medical care while thanking fans for their support. This has been a deeply distressing time for everyone involved. Mark and our family are incredibly grateful for the concern, love, and support we've received over the past few days, Mark's brother Nick said in a statement to TMZ Sports. Now, we've got some folks in our community that I guess are sort of in the know with Mark and know some of his family. In fact, I think one of my friends dated him. I think a lot of people dated him back in the day. But either way, was this a one-off incident? And what exactly went down? Did he unprovoked beat the hell out of this random guy who was just doing his job? Is there more to the story? I honestly don't know. But what we have here is some thoughts by some sports talk radio, which, by the way, the fact that they're even floating the idea of Mark coming back to work, I thought he would never work again in the NFL. But again, we'll have to hear the full story first, innocent till proven guilty. But here's what these sports folks have to say.
Road back probably has to start with a rehab.
Yeah, and I got a feeling the 69-year-old, through his family and attorneys, I believe a civil suit is coming down the line as well. This thing is far from being over for Mark Sanchez.
Well, let me tell you where Fox could get in trouble. Have they ever covered up anything? Has there ever been an incident where Mark Sanchez was a problem?
That's a good question.
And then they just said, yes, nobody knows about it. Because if you're going to a civil lawsuit, you're going to gather up as much information as you can. Because, by the way, let me tell you what you're looking to do. You're looking to get Mark Sanchez. See, he has some money. Fox has a lot of money.
Mark Sanchez is worth $40 million. So, yeah, the victim, Mark Sanchez's victim here, could get a pretty penny.
If I'm an attorney, and I'm not, but I've seen enough TV to know, oh, yeah, I'll go after Mark Sanchez. I want some of his. They're the ones that have the money.
Well, then
now, how do you go after, that's my question, and maybe some lawyers can know, how do you go after Fox or the NFL here? I mean, he was off the clock, whatever. Either way, it looks like they're going after him one way or another. Alleged victim files lawsuit against former quarterback and Fox. So he's facing a lawsuit stemming from Saturday's stabbing incident. And again, not only the lawsuit, but he's also being charged with some pretty, like a class 5 felony, felony battery, I think is what it's called. And again, we don't have any results from the toxicology report. My initial thought is, dude's got CTE, which they don't test for until after you're dead. But that's my initial thought. I have no idea. Maybe he's just got a crazy drinking or anger problem, or maybe there's some world where he's the victim. I don't know. He was the one that was arrested, though. So I don't think Mark's coming out of this one unscathed. All right, let's go to Taylor Swift here. She was on Jimmy Fallon's Tonight Show. He landed the big interview, of course. She just released her album. So let's play a couple clips. Here's Jimmy Fallon checking out that rock on her finger.
Like, it's more than that. It's like, he's just my favorite person I've ever met. No offense to everyone else.
Yeah.
But the fact that this is the person that I get to hang out with every day forever is just like, that's the whole thing of it. You look at that and you're like, I get to hang out with him forever.
All right, so she gets an 8-carat diamond, and that's love, folks. Now listen, I'm both happy for her and also yuck. You know what I mean? But either way, wish her the best. Here's the interesting clip, though. This is Taylor Swift responding to her song "Wood," which sings about her boyfriend in a metaphor, calling his member a redwood tree, and also talks about her thighs opening up. These are her words, not mine, folks.
It really started out in a very innocent place. You know, it started out like, I don't know what happened, man.
We went off the rails.
I got in there, we started vibing, and I don't know.
A good sword will do it to you, right? A good sword will make you, you'll want to write a nice poppy love song. And next thing you know, you're singing about phallic nature. You know what I mean? So either way, I get you. Like love will do some weird things to you there, Taylor. Just make sure, his redwood's not so strong and tall that you don't sign a prenup.
We got here, but I love the song so much.
So she says she loves the song "Wood" so much. Again, it's a better man's pecker. Listen, it's like, what is this, her first rodeo? You know what I mean? She's been dating all these like singer-songwriters, although, some of them, I guess, probably have their own sword. Who knows? All right, the pen is mightier. What are you talking about? All right, well, from Taylor's happy relationship to Brittany Cartwright, her unsuccessful marriage to Jax, well, listen, you get out of a relationship, what do you want to do, right? You want to get a new haircut, you get a spray tan, look sexy, fetch, I think is the word the kids use, I don't know. Yeah, and then maybe get rid of your boobs. Do what you want to do, right? So they're calling it Boob Voyage. Oh, I get it. It's like a play on Bon Voyage. Brittany Cartwright's transformation journey took a major turn. TMZ has learned she recently underwent the knife for a full-on mommy makeover. We call it explant surgery, folks. She posted it, so I think we can talk about it. When they said, remove what no longer serves you, I took it literally. She's like, I couldn't get rid of the herpes, so instead I got rid of the breast implants. I'm not saying she's got herpes, folks. These are just jokes. Allegedly, right? Don't sue us. It's literally, I don't know. Okay. And if you have it, that's fine too, right? Sore subject. Okay. It's a morning episode. I did a thing, something I've wanted to do for years, and I finally took the step for me. Couldn't be happier. Still recovering, feeling stronger and lighter every day. Can't wait to share more with you soon. Yes, I hear explant surgery is incredibly painful. Wouldn't know. Don't have implants. But either way, for those that decide they want to enlarge their boobs or take them out or get calf muscle implants, I don't care what you want to do with your body. Just find happiness. You know what I mean? Find it. All right. Well, there's your update. And I do have a few more thoughts on Taylor Swift I want to get to in a minute. There's still discussion about Taylor Swift and Blake Lively, and are they friends? Are they not? I quite literally couldn't care less, but I do think on a rather slow news week, we'll continue to discuss that. Just give me a moment. Well, the government is shut down, and this could affect anybody who's planning on traveling. How about this? Burbank Airport, lovely airport to fly into. Southwest and some other airlines fly there. Burbank Airport is without air traffic controllers Monday amid government shutdown. Have a listen.
This is kind of surreal. This is unprecedented at Burbank Airport right now. We were just talking to them last half hour, and everything seemed normal. We were talking to a controller, and then when we were coming back from downtown LA, we had seen that Governor Newsom was saying that there are no controllers at Burbank Airport, and we can confirm that that is indeed what's happening. So,
I mean, how do you land a plane? Do you just like wave at each other as you fly by, like my turn, your turn? I'll be on the south runway? How does that work? Now, of course, it's a very stressful job, and when the government shut down, the government employees in essential cases still have to go back to work. They will get paid eventually if and when the government does start back up. I will be talking more about the government starting back up because Trump has said he's now negotiating with the Democrats. They could have done this 2 weeks ago or a month ago. This didn't have to wait till the government was shut down. But again, they're using it as an excuse to cut jobs and continue to slash the government down to its studs. But we'll have a little bit more on that in a minute. Here's my thought. Okay, so here's what went down with Blake Lively. I'm only going to talk about this real quick. I tell you what, why don't we do this? Let's talk Blake Lively, Taylor Swift, some evidence that they actually might be friends. We'll have that after a quick word from our sponsor. Today's episode of the Rush Hour podcast is sponsored by Upside. It is a free app that gets you cash back for purchases you're already making at gas stations, restaurants, convenience marts, grocery stores. It's unbelievable. How it works is you just go to the app. It's free. You type in where you live and it shows you literally all of the thousands of different options, from saving 65 cents per gallon to, look at this, Five Guys, burger and fries, 38% cash back. You just buy the food, the gas with your credit card, then you upload the receipt through the app, and it's money, cold hard cash, straight back to your bank account. No confusing rewards, points, or credits. Actual money that you will transfer into your pocket. $1 million in cash back is being earned by users every week. Upside has given back $1 billion to its users. To find out how much you could earn, download the free Upside app and use promo code RUSHHOUR to get an extra 25 cents back on every gallon on your first tank of gas. That's an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas using promo code RUSHHOUR. Now let's get back to the show. So there are some pro Blake Lively accounts, which God bless the First Amendment, right? People can be pro Blake Lively. What the hell do I care? That are saying that Blake and Taylor are actually back to being friends, not just because that they shared some jewelry on the red carpet, but also because the New Heights podcast, which is the Kelsey brothers, aired an episode which says they were friends with Blake Lively. In the episode clip, they said, we just went to Blake Lively. She's a friend of ours. We went to her new movie. But again, it had to be brought up to the attention of the Blake Lively fan club that this episode was actually from a Patreons only episode, which actually aired last year. So it's not fresh information. But then folks said, well, if they really had a bone to pick with Taylor Swift or with Blake Lively, they would never have aired the episode. Listen, I mean, Travis Kelce's trying to catch touchdowns. You know, he had a game last night. They aired a repeat episode. Do you really think they've got the time to worry about these things? No, we have the time. You're driving to work. You're letting me rant about Bigfoot and Travis Kelce's dick. I mean, maybe speaking of Bigfoot lurks in the redwood forest, whatever. Anyhow, by the way, a lot of traffic in the Redwood Park this week. Taylor's like, I got a first class pass. I'll tell you that. Anyhow, what the hell are we talking about? So I'm you know, as far as a judge goes, I don't know. I don't know if they're friends. It's like, sure, there's some evidence they could be back to being friends, but I don't think so. I don't think Taylor needs Blake. I don't think she's going back to that. I think she saw the light and she got out, especially since Travis Kelce unfollowed Ryan Reynolds. That was a big deal, right? You know, these egos that they have are worth more than whatever the friendship would offer, right? And they should. You should have a little bit of an ego when it comes to a friend crossing you. Literally, the only thing a friend... I heard someone else say this as far as unconditional friendship and unconditional love. There is no such thing as unconditional, right? There's always a condition. But the only true condition to unconditional love is that the other person doesn't take it for granted, right? That's really the idea. I can't remember who said that, but it was beautifully put. So even if your friendship felt unconditional, who's Taylor Swift if she can't trust her close friends, especially when she finds out that her friends are, you know, using her clout and equity to leverage themselves in different projects. So I still believe they're not friends, but I understand that there's some, you know, chum for those that want to believe that. All right, but again, who cares? We have bigger fish to fry, specifically the government. But first, how about Epstein? Trump says he will take a look at and talk to the Department of Justice about pardoning convicted trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell. So the Supreme Court just decided not to take up her case. So even though she's in a cushy prison, prison. She is in jail. She is not going to get a new trial. But her only, effort could be that Trump pardons her. He plays dumb, but he says he'll look into it.
Yeah, please.
Mr. President's term today, Mr. President.
Say it.
The Supreme Court is back and
Yeah.
they rejected today an appeal by Ghislaine Maxwell to overturn her conviction. That means her only chance of getting out of prison is a pardon from you. Is that something you're...
Who are we talking about?
Ghislaine Maxwell.
I haven't heard the name in so long. I can say this, that I'd have to take a look at it. I would have to take a look. Did they reject that?
She wanted to appeal her conviction.
And what happened?
They said that they were not going to hear her appeal.
I love that he gets his news just from asking reporters while he's doing a press conference. He's literally just got his own news. He's like, CNN, what happened with that? Okay, good. Back to Fox News.
I see. Well, I'll take a look at it. I will speak to the DOJ. I wouldn't consider it or not consider it. I don't know anything about it. So
I don't understand why it's not a hard no, considering she has been the only person to take the fall for what has been, one of the most the biggest conspiracies ever. It is a conspiracy, right? Years ago, Epstein was arrested, and then the DOJ, which somehow in Florida, Florida decided not to prosecute him to the level that they should have, and then all of these other crimes continued to go down. Epstein got his, what's his name? Giuffre, the lady who just died. She was working at Trump's Mar-a-Lago in the salon, and then Epstein stole her from him. I mean, they're all connected. It's all bizarre. Now, you might say, well, Trump's got nothing to do with this. He's got nothing to do with Epstein. And it's like, well, if that's the case, why the hell are we creating all these other news stories, literally shutting down the government, doing all these things when we could just be releasing the Epstein files, which literally 80% of the country want to do? I mean, it's so ridiculous what's going on. The whole country wants the Epstein files released. If Trump's, not in it, and if he's not protecting anybody, then just release it. But instead, the literal government shutdown. Maybe it's for other reasons, but it's pretty convenient that with the government shutdown, they don't have to vote on these things. Mike Johnson literally delayed swearing in a new member of Congress, which would have been the deciding vote to push forward the next sort of chain of events to get the Epstein files released. And they're just going to pretend like, oh, yeah, no, we care about the victims. What the hell are they talking about?
You oppose the discharge petition that has been working its way through the building. But 77% of Americans and 67% of Republicans say they want full transparency on the Epstein files with appropriate redactions.
So do I.
So then how are they wrong to say that this discharge petition is the fastest way of getting there?
The discharge petition is a moot point now. The House Oversight Committee has some of the toughest bulldog Democrats and Republicans in Congress. They're all working together for full transparency.
No. So he says, we don't need to release the Epstein files because we're already doing this other thing that partially releases the Epstein files. Hey, dumb. Get it through your thick skull here. The United States, I mean, trust me, we're a stubborn people, and we are not going to stop until those Epstein files are released.
The Epstein files, they're doing it right now.
Why is it taking so long?
Well, because they had to send subpoenas. The subpoenas go through the House committee process. The DOJ is in full compliance. 34,000 documents have been turned over already, and they're digging. Public. Yes, but now they're digging into the Epstein estate files, which are housed in New York. The lawyers are up there on the Oversight Committee combing through that. They're about to have more and more tranches of this coming out.
Hey, by the way, when they were initially looking into him, why didn't they access all this information, So now he's saying, no, we got to get all these subpoenas. There's a folder jam-packed with all of this because you already release it. Just release it.
But they are appropriately redacting the innocent victims' names. We think as many as 1,000 young women may have been victims of this.
Okay, so there's 1,000 young women that are victims. And you're also trying to tell us that nobody was working with Epstein? Don't buy it. This is why, people waited patiently. And when Pam Bondi came out saying, nothing to see here, case closed, everyone was like, what are you talking about? We just assumed you guys were working on this. Now it's in the Americans' hands, right? Now it's Americans' job to make sure that whoever is part of delaying this does not get voted back into office. They don't care about you. They don't care about the victims. The fact that he's here doing all of the bidding for Trump, doing all of the delaying here, not putting through, like I said, the deciding 218th vote, doing whatever he can, literally sending everyone home for 3 weeks. You remember, like this summer, they just took a nice month-long break so they didn't have to vote on this. Kicking the what are they hoping, that aliens will invade and we no longer want the Epstein files? If the aliens invade, they're going to first touch down on Earth and say, release the Epstein files, or whatever accent they have.
The victims said that they want transparency on this for their own healing and closure. So do you feel that the longer you wait this out, the harder it is for them, the people at the heart of this?
We're not waiting this out. We're moving it as fast as the legal process allows, and more of this will be coming out daily, weekly, as we go. The problem we had with the discharge petition is it didn't have adequate protections for all those innocent victims.
Which, of course, is not true. There was absolutely, they'd be able to redact the victims. I mean, just garbage. So this interview, back to the shutdown, had Trump really pissed off. This is, again, an American hero, Democratic Senator Mark Kelly, right? He's an astronaut. He's a badass mother effer, right? And he gives a very honest response about what this shutdown is all about. Now, we've continued to talk about this, but we have to beat this messaging down. The shutdown is not about the Democrats wanting to fund free healthcare for illegals.
About the price of healthcare and immigrants. The heart of the disagreement seems to be that Republicans do not think that illegal immigrants should have access to taxpayer-funded health insurance.
And they don't.
So the Democratic position, your official position here, is that illegal immigrants should not have any access to taxpayer-funded health insurance. Does that include federal and state?
Well, the federal law is that undocumented individuals do not have access to Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps, even the Affordable Care Act. That's the law. So this is a red herring from my Republican colleagues. They don't want to, help folks out because they needed that money. And this should be pretty simple for people to understand. When they gave that extension of the 2017 tax cuts, which helped out the richest Americans, it was partially paid for by taking away Medicaid and taking away these ACA tax credits for people who just can't afford health care.
I mean, that's what it is. And again, Trump's response to that was getting on Truth Social and saying, why is Fox News and Peter Doocy putting on Democrat Senator Mark Kelly to talk about totally unabated or unchallenged health care? The fake spin is so bad for Republicans that it's hard to believe that we win. And again, so there he is now calling out Fox News for having a robust conversation, I guess, this is important because this is exactly what it's all about. Well, now Trump says he's actually starting to negotiate with Democrats, which, by the way, proves the point that the Democrats needed to have this government shut down because it was the only card they could play. And quite frankly, people's lives will be saved because of this. People that can, or possibly, fingers crossed, will be able to afford their healthcare premiums, will be able to get, screened and go to the doctor and find preventative illness and things like that. If the healthcare premiums get doubled, they might just say, you know what, I'm going to risk it with some Robitussin.
We have a negotiation going on right now with the Democrats that could lead to very good things.
What kind of
and I'm talking about good things with regard to health care.
Are you speaking with Democratic leaders? What kind of negotiations?
Well, I don't want to say that. But we are speaking with the Democrats, and some very good things could happen with respect to health care.
Would you make a deal with them on the ACA subsidies?
If we made the right deal, I'd make a deal, sure.
And by the way, these aren't new subsidies. The only thing the Democrats want is the subsidies that have been in place stay in place. That's all they're asking for. It is literally the bare minimum for the American people, for the 20 million or so that rely on this form of health insurance. And by the way, with the way that AI is going to be working, there'll be a hell of a lot of people laid off. You might not be freelance right now, but I'm telling you, a lot of folks are going to be losing their jobs due to AI and automation and things like that. And when you're on the marketplace, let me tell you something. It's a son of a bitch, okay? Because I'm on it. My wife, myself, we do well. My baby's on it. The three of us pay $1,300 a month. And that doesn't even get us much, right? It really doesn't. I don't know what, I honestly don't even know what it's, we've considered, like, should we just put that money in the S&P 500 and cross our fingers and not go skiing and hope we don't, blow a knee out? Either way, it's just wild. Now, here we have a little bit of a separate story here. The governor of Illinois basically saying that Trump's federal plan is to cause enough fear. I mean, look what he says. The Trump administration is following a playbook. Cause fear and confusion, and then invoke the Insurrection Act. Wow. I mean, this is crazy to hear this coming from the governor. Now, you might say, well, why doesn't he just follow the rules, the laws, the chain of command? Well, because some of the judges that Trump appointed have shut him down and said, you can't do this. But if it's the Insurrection Act, then, it gives a little bit more control to the executive branch, which is super dangerous because these aren't terrorists. These are people walking their dogs. These are people that are allowed to protest. And Trump's got this idea like the whole cities are being burnt down, which just isn't true. I mean, don't you think that the state of Illinois, the city of Chicago, has a police force that can handle these things? I mean, it's like it's more violent after a Wrigley's game. You know what I mean? So here's Trump basically confirming what J.D. Pritzker just said, which is if it's all an insurrection. So this is the same thing with like calling everybody a terrorist. If you're going to say that people are terrorists, then you're going to treat them differently than you would treat a U.S. citizen. It's not right, and we're watching it play out right in front of our eyes.
The head of the Union Pacific Railroad said, sir, save Chicago. It's a great city. It's going to be lost if you don't do it. We have no choice but to do this. And when judges give us rulings that, you don't have to do it, Portland is on fire. Portland's been on fire for years. And not so much saving it. We have to save something else because I think that's all insurrection. I really think that's really criminal insurrection. So I appreciate the question. These are unsafe places. We're going to make them safe.
And there it is. They're going to make them safe. So what happens when all of these, military are surrounding all of these different cities, mainly these blue states? I mean, what happens after that? Will they still be there by the midterm election? Will people feel safe enough to go vote? What is the overall game plan? I have no idea. But trust me, it is way past the time to call people alarmist right now. Democracy is the only thing on fire. Portland's not, democracy is. The Constitution right now is like a levee that is, up against a lot of pressure. And if the judges can't hold it back, who will? Will it be Pritzker? Will it be other governors coming together? Right now, we've got the governor of Texas willing and able to send troops to other states. So we're seeing National Guards being sent to police other states. All for what? It's insane out there, folks. Wish I could end on a better note, but that's what it is. And there's no other way to put it. So we'll keep here sharing the updates. I appreciate all the support. We've never had more viewers, and it means the world to me that you guys are sticking around during these important times. We need as many eyeballs on this as possible, so please consider sharing with a friend. 5-star review if you could. Give us a nice subscribe, leave a comment, and we'll see you this afternoon. As always, I'm here twice a day, every day. I'm Dave, and this is The Rush.